Two is the brand new Netflix one, which hit on Netflix 2 weeks ago. Got a chance to watch it and wanted to give my thoughts here on the channel. The film's directed by Kyle Newacek, who also teamed up with Adam Sandler on Netflix back in 2019 with Murder Mystery. Sandler also reteamed with his co-writer Tim Herlihy to co-write the screenplay as they did on the original Happy Gilmore, which again came out in 1996. This legacy sequel does take place that amount of time after the events of the first film. Happy is becoming a very famous professional golfer, but after a family tragedy, he becomes drunk, an alcoholic, and so in struggling to pick up the clubs again, but he's brought back as his daughter, who's played by Sandler's real life daughter, who's played by Sadie Sandler, or sorry, Vienna Sandler, who's played by Sunny Sandler. She has to go have this dancing thing in France, and the only way to pay for it is we're happy to pick up the golf clubs again and play in this golf tournament. Benny Safdie plays the villain of the movie, Frank, who's created this whole new golf league that's supposed to be more updated and a fresher version of golf. As Sandler teams up with actual PGA golfers to go up against them. Christopher McDonald returns as Shooter McGavin, who's in a mental institute at the beginning of the movie, as he is trying to make sure he can get revenge on Happy. Julie Bowen is also back from the original film as Happy's love interest. Ben Stiller is back as Hal-El, and there's also a billion cameos in this movie as well. The film is an hour and 54 minutes and is PG-13. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new review here, Mac Talks Movies. My name is Mac Trevor. We're talking Happy Gilmore 2. So if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. I do movie, TV show reviews, out-of-theater reactions, movie franchise rankings, and every Monday I do a box office breakdown show. So if you like any one of those things, this is the channel for you. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on Happy Gilmore 2? Did it live up to the hype for you, or did it disappoint? I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. How much does the first Happy Gilmore mean to you? Would love to hear your thoughts. At the end, please hit that thumbs up button. So I was one of the people that was very excited for Happy Gilmore 2. I liked all of the trailers. And again, I am someone who's grown up for the most part with really bad legacy comedy sequels and over the last decade or so. But I am a fan of Adam Sandler. Even though I wasn't born in the 90s, I grew up watching Adam Sandler movies. If that was the films in his 90s, or sorry, in the 90s, not in his 90s, we got to go long before Adam Sandler turns 90 years old. But I grew up with a lot of his films in the early 2000s. That was Mr. Deeds, or 51st Dates, or Click, or if it was Grown Ups, or just go with it, those type of movies. But again, I also grew up watching Wedding Singer and Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. And for me, Happy Gilmore, as a massive golf fan and a massive sports fan in general, Happy Gilmore has always been my favorite Sandler movie. And I love Shooter McGavin, and it's such an Carl Weathers, it's such an iconic film. And it made sense, honestly, for this to go to Netflix with Sandler's deal with them. But I heard some very bad things about the movie going in. I usually like to go as blindly as I can, but I didn't have time to watch this movie. It's the weekend it came out, so I watched it, I would say, a week later from its original release date. So I try my best to go in as blindly as I can, but when stuff happens in my personal life and I can't get to a movie like that, it's hard not to listen on things. So Happy Gilmore 2 for me, I've seen some really divisive things where the people who really love the movie are really nagging at the people who did not like the film. And I want to say, before I give my thoughts on Happy Gilmore 2, comedy is probably my second favorite movie genre behind horror. And it is the most, in my opinion, all movies and all film and all art are subjective, but the comedy genre is the most subjective form of films because everyone's comedic tastes and elements and actors are all very different. And not some movies could be one of the funniest films for them. Is the next person next to them, it's not their kind of film. So I think when people, complain to other people about how do you like this movie, how do you not like this movie, I think comedy is always made for someone out there, unless it's just a really badly done one. I will say this. I am massively, massively disappointed with Happy Gilmore 2 because I think this is a pretty bad movie that the first act told me what the movie was going to be. And I didn't bring up in spoilers. I'm not going to this family death that happens that leads to Sandler's character, going down this alcoholic. He's now working at grocery stores route. That whole element of the movie was not for me. When you're thinking about 30 years, it feels like we're in a time where all these legacy sequels, both in the comedy genre and just movies in general, every one of these lead characters, 30, 40 years later, has now turned into becoming a homeless person or a nobody, or he's working at grocery stores, or they're an alcoholic, or they forget about their kids and their family. I'm so tired of it. It's such a retread of every generic element of legacy sequels. Sometimes it fits the character. That plot point for me does not fit Happy Gilmore because it's Happy Gilmore. It's a positive, optimistic person who's going through life as an underdog. And this movie, I swear, 5 minutes in turns into a drunk alcoholic. And all the jokes in the first 30 minutes is where can we find the alcohol next in Happy's house? It's in the golf clubs, in the hand sanitizer. That joke was not for me. Again, I'm not someone who has ever dealt with alcoholism or anything like that. I could feel it being a gross joke to people who has gone through being an alcoholic and people who have gone over that. And as someone who's never even gone through that, I felt it was very gross that that became the bit of the first 30 minutes of the movie. Another thing, Happy Gilmore is one of the most popular comedic films of all time. It's a truth. It's really what puts Sandler on the map. One of Billy that or Billy Madison, you can say, really puts Sandler as a movie star on the map in the comedy genre. But this movie has no faith that you will get any references or callbacks to the original movie to a point where every single time, it feels like every 30 seconds in this movie, they have some callback to a character or scene in the first film. And instead of thinking that us as the audience will remember that, every single time they do a full flashback and showing the actual scene from the first Happy Gilmore. I love the first Happy Gilmore, have seen it many times. And the people who are going to go see Happy Gilmore 2 probably have seen the first Happy Gilmore. But this movie has no faith in the audience that they will pick up any of these Easter eggs or these callbacks to a point where it just makes the audience feel stupid, in my opinion. And I hate in sequels and stuff where they have to beat you over the head with this is what happened in the last movie. And this movie does it the most I have ever seen. It's a part of movies I hate, and this movie does it more than any movie I can remember. Where it's just trying to, hey, remember this person's son is right here. If you don't remember who this person's father is, here's a 45-second compilation of scenes of him in the first Happy Gilmore. And they do that so many times. And it just makes this feel like such a lazy movie where every also 30 seconds, it's a major cameo. If it's a PGA Tour professional, if it's a famous athlete, if it's a famous streamer, if it's a famous singer, if it's a famous actor, it happens so much. And again, Sandler, his movies have been a lot about also getting in those cameos, but it just felt like cameos just for the sake of it, where there's big time movie stars in it, like Margaret Qualley, for example, who's in a thankless role. There's just so many people in just like Eric Andre in thankless roles. Again, I love, as someone who watches golf, I love the golf cameos in the movie. That makes sense. It's a golf movie, so why not include actual golfers? But like Ben Stiller, who was a standout, one of my favorite comedic actors of all time, is way worse than he was. Like again, it's so hard to make Ben Stiller unfunny, but he was absolutely unfunny in this one. And the whole promotion of this movie was really building up, thing behind me, Shooter versus Happy again, but things get resolved with their dynamic so quickly in this movie. And the film just it felt like it didn't even need Shooter in the movie from a story perspective, other than just it's a legacy sequel. We need to see where Shooter is 29 years later. Like, if you're thinking of a Happy Gilmore sequel, why was this a direction for Shooter McGavin whatsoever? Sure, it's funny. The bit of him in a mental institute about what happened is fine. But when he gets out of jail, he feels like a totally different character than he was in the original film. Julie Bowen is wasted. There are some fun cameos or performances. I actually liked Benny Safdie as the villain role. I thought Bad Bunny was very funny. The Eminem cameo in the movie, I thought was easily the best usage of a cameo out of the entire film. But there's just this is a, and again, I like golf. There are some funny moments in the film, but this is a movie that I was insanely disappointed in because for the most part, it's not very funny. The first two acts are really tough to get through when you understand what this movie's trying to do with its plot. And there's just so many things we never cared about to see in a Happy Gilmore sequel that they do. And I think it's just the laziness that they either didn't think people would remember the original film or just trying to just in order to add things into the movie, just let's just show a clip of this character from the first movie. Let's show another, Carl Weathers' son, the character of Carl Weathers' son's in this movie, and he's just literally just doing Carl Weathers' son impersonation. There's just so many bad elements in this movie, and again, I've seen so many people just well, if you don't like this movie, I don't know who you are and how you understand this. This is my opinion. I adore the first Happy Gilmore. I'll keep watching that film for years to come. I will never touch Happy Gilmore 2 again. So overall, I'm giving it a 1.5 out of 5. Yeah, I'm going to go 31% for Happy Gilmore 2. There's some funny moments, there's some fun bits in here and some fun cameos, but overall, it left me feeling a lot more disappointed and underwhelmed than I was laughing throughout the entire film. So, what are your thoughts on Happy Gilmore 2? Let me know down in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.